Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Now, today we're going to be talking about a specific topic. Like a lot of you guys, I'm very excited about the Switch 2, but what I'm not excited about is the GameKey Cards. I honestly think they suck, and they suck in a major way because, I mean, they're sold as if they're physical games, but they're really not. They're basically just verification cards. That's all it is. There is very little data on those cards. You insert it into your Switch 2 and then you basically download the game. So it's essentially a download game which requires you to have a game card in order to access. And that's fine and dandy, but when you think about that, you got to look at the facts. So that's going to take up a lot of the storage that you have both internally and externally if you buy a micro SD express card. And that's one of the kickers here for me, because honestly, you know, the luxury of the actual game cartridge where you have everything on it is you don't have to worry about using up your storage data to put the game on there. But with this, you're still basically downloading the game, so it's just the same as having a digital game. And to me, it defeats the purpose, because also you have to swap the key card whenever you're switching games. You're going to be popping out key cards. At that point, I'd rather just have a digital game, and then I just easily stroll through my browser of video games and choose what I want to play without having to go through that extra step of popping a cartridge out, which technically isn't even a cartridge. You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird, and a lot of these games are taking up a lot of storage. Also, if you look at the list, you got games like Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, which is taking up 53.7 gigs, and then some of these just don't really make sense. When you look at things like Puyo Puyo Tetris, which is like 4 gigabytes, right? There is no reason why that game shouldn't have just been put on a cartridge. This is them like cheaping out in the worst way. Like, you guys, I get it. The cost of the carts, they're expensive. Nintendo was never able to solve that with the Switch 1, but a game like that, come on now. See, that's the problem I had with this. And like also Bravely Default, that's another one where Square Enix decided to go with the key card, the game key card, instead of a cartridge when that game's only like 11 gigabytes. That's unacceptable to me, because there is no reason why these games in particular shouldn't just be put on a cart. You're selling a digital version of these games with the illusion of them being physical, because, you know, yeah, I can still trade it in or let a friend borrow it, but it's still a digital download at the end of the day. And it sucks for us as consumers, especially guys like me. I like having my physical games, and I always choose physical over digital when that's an option. And now, you know, I feel with this, you know, my hands have been tied. You know, I don't have much of a say so in this. With a lot of these games, like, I was looking forward to Yakuza 0 Director's Cut, but with this key card thing, I'm probably not doing that when I'll just get it digitally, because why bother with the key card game when it's a digital game that just requires me to pop a cartridge in still, when it's not necessary at that point. I'd rather have the digital version, you know? All of this is pretty bizarre to me, and I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic, but I do feel that this is going to be ultimately what kills the physical aspect of buying video games, because now developers, there is no way, like, let's just use this for an example. If Resident Evil 4 Remake comes to the Switch 2, do you think Capcom's going to actually put that on a cartridge? If they did, I'd be very surprised, but 9 times out of 10 they won't. And that's going to be the thing for most of these third-party publishers, because they're not going to spend that additional cost to put these things on a cartridge. It costs too much for them. So they would rather cut corners and use these game key cards instead, and ultimately snub us as consumers. It's horrible, bro. It's horrible. And this is the only thing that I really hate. Like, yeah, some people talk about the $80 price tag for Mario Kart. I'm kind of okay with that. I don't necessarily like it, but I also look at it as that's something that was going to happen anyway. Games are going to increase in cost. That just happens over time. Nintendo was the first to do it. It ain't like that if they didn't do it, it wasn't ever going to happen. It was. But this in particular, this is the one that I'm really not feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I really want physical games over digital games, but now I don't really have a choice. And you know, I'm not going to choose this over a digital version. I'd rather just go ahead and get the digital version, because it's it's essentially the same thing anyway, no matter how you slice it. But that's all I got for y'all. If y'all enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so and turn on that notification bell so you will be notified the instant I drop another video. Until next time, y'all stay safe. Peace.